Right, you're still watching TVC Breakfast, and before we go into main discussions now, let's give you the news update for this time. The National Assembly has set July as the deadline for the passage of 4 critical anti-corruption bills submitted by President Muhammadu Buhari.
They are the Whistleblowers Protection Bill, Proceeds of Crime Bill, Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Bill, and the Bill for a Special Anti-Corruption Court. Senate President Bukola Saraki gave the assurances at the launch of a book written by Senator Dino Melaye.
A member of Nigeria's House of Representatives has urged the National Orientation Agency to begin sensitizing the public about the abuse of the Nigerian flag.
Having moved the motion on abuse and the bastardization of the flag last year, Sam Onugbo has moved to criminalize the act by seeking an amendment to the law establishing the Nigerian flag.
And cybersecurity researchers have found technical evidence they say could link North Korea with the global cyber attack.
Symantec and Kaspersky Lab says some code in an earlier version of the WannaCry software had also appeared in programs used by the Lazarus Group, identified as a North Korea-run hacking operation. Both firms say it is too early to tell whether North Korea is involved, but need to study the code more and have asked for others to help with the analysis. The attacks, which slowed on Monday, has infected more than 300,000 computers in 150 countries since Friday.
All right, that's going to be our focus this morning. Since Friday, May the 12th, governments, companies and security experts from different countries have been on a mission to contain the fallout of an audacious global cyber attack known as ransomware, and more than 300,000 computers have since been affected in at least 100 countries.
Let's break this down a bit for those who are not conversant with the technicalities of information communication technology. I'm not anyway, but we all learn together. So a cyber attack is any type of offensive maneuver used by individuals or organizations that targets computer information systems, computer networks, personal computer devices by various means, usually originating from an anonymous source that either steals, alters, or destroys a specified target by hacking into a susceptible system.
Now, we will try to make this as simple as possible so we can carry everyone along on how to identify, prevent, and contain a possible malware attack on your computer. Now, ransomware is a type of malware that blocks access to a computer or its data and demands money to release it.
Presently, the WannaCry or Decryptor's ransomware works by encrypting files on computers, locking users out. It targets Microsoft's widely used Windows operating system. The malware spread through email. When a system is infected, a pop-up window appears with instructions on how to pay a ransom amount of $300.
Now, the pop-up also features 2 countdown clocks, one showing a 3-day deadline before the ransom amount doubles to $600, another showing a deadline of when the target will lose its data forever. Now, the ransomware program may have originated with theft of cyber weapons from the National Security Agency in the United States by a hacking group called Shadow Brokers.
So far, around 333,000 pounds in ransoms have been paid. That's according to analysts by Bitcoin Wallet. The coordinated attack was first reported in Britain on Friday. England's National Health Service was hit on Friday, locking staff out of their computers and forcing some hospitals and ambulances to divert patients. Some of the already affected countries are UK, Russia, India, China, United States, Japan, Australia, and around Zimbabwe. But Europe and Russia remain the hardest hit.
Now, meanwhile, Nigeria has issued an emergency advice to computer users. As a general precautionary measure, the National Information Technology Development Agency gave Nigerians guidelines on how to protect their personal and workplace computers against ransomware. Now, NITDA recommended that individuals and organizations should, 1, regularly update their operating systems with the latest patches, then 2, regularly update their software applications with latest patches, 3, that avoid downloading and opening unsolicited files and attachments.
And of course, 4, adjust security software to scan, compress, or archived files. Nigeria has had its share of cyber attacks. In fact, I think we rate about 16th really when it comes to that area. The words of Minister of Communication Adebayo Shitu, who said a total of 3,500 attacks in 2015 led to a loss of about $450 million. That's a lot of money that's gone into cyber attack in Nigeria.
All right, let's get into discussion proper now. Joining us from Abuja is the President, Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria, Remi Afon. Remi, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, really nice to have you. And we have joining us from Port Harcourt, our studio there is a retired Superintendent of Police, Dr. Zems Matthias. Dr. Matthias, good morning. It's good to have you join us now. Now,
good morning. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Let me start with you, Remi. It's good to have you. Now, tell us generally, how vulnerable is Nigeria to cyber attacks?
Yeah, basically we are quite vulnerable because there are so many things that are supposed to be in place that are not in place. And we need to have cyber security awareness, which a lot of people are not really aware of the vulnerability out there. So there is a need to intensify our cyber security awareness. For instance, this WannaCry ransomware that is running around, there's a need for people to know what to do. It's good that the leaders come up with advice.
Okay. All right, let's go to Remi now. Remi, you had the list of the countries involved. When I was reading out the list myself, I was okay, no African country until I heard Zimbabwe. What's your take on that?
Yeah, because we don't report attacks. So we might not really tell as of now, but I believe there might be 1 or 2 attacks in the country as well, because we don't have a reporting line for people to get to say, okay, we have been attacked.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Matthias now.
As time goes on, it's going to get clear.
Okay, thank you, Remi. Matthias, over to you. What do you make of this attack? WannaCry.
Yeah, my friend in Abuja was just saying awareness. I think that's not sufficient. I think cybercrime, digital information is supposed to be part of the university curriculum, where at least at the level, lower level, people should know what is called cybercrime itself. Not that when an offense has taken a place, we'll start creating awareness. I think I disagree with him. Cybercrime has been existing. Nigeria is a nonchalant attitude of Nigeria to cybercrime is not what to write home about.
All right, so can you confirm now if we have ransomware, WannaCry attack in Nigeria? Maybe it has gone unreported. Can you confirm, Matthias?
Yeah, severally. During my time in State CID, I think I investigated 1.5 billion naira worth of cybercrime cases there. It's ongoing. As you know, this program is ongoing too. Cybercrime in Nigeria is ongoing. Mostly the students from our university institutions, they are backing on cybercrime. In some Africa countries, places like Ghana, Ghana is free of charge. We get our youth, they are all Ghana. A place like Malaysia, our youth are there. The north here is very low. The Nigerian government have not recognized cybercrime as a crime, but it's the highest crime so far. I continue to tell you, it's the highest crime so far. It's the greatest crime. It's even more than terrorism, because what happened 2-3 weeks ago is called cyber terrorism. It's not just ordinary hiking. Because hiking could be of individuals. When it affects institution or an organization, it becomes a cyber terrorism.
Okay, Remi, let me come back to you. We need to really understand in simple terms, because when it comes to computers, not so many people have understanding of the technicalities that get involved. Can you break it down in simple terms? What really constitutes cyber attack and how is it carried out? Let's start understanding things from that perspective. Remi?
Yeah, so basically, to understand the cyber attack, there are three things that the cyber criminals are interested in. That's what we call confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So the cyber criminals really want to disrupt your services. They want to steal your information, steal your confidential information. They want to steal your money. So, and also to change information that you have in place. So the way they work is that they try to play on you using what we call social engineering. For instance, send an email to you. Once you click on that email, then you get infected with malware, or you send your sensitive information to them.
Okay, gentlemen, please just hold your thoughts. We'll go on a short break right now. Return with more on TVC Breakfast. Stay with us.
Right, if you're just joining us, you're watching TVC Breakfast, and we are discussing cybersecurity. There has been an outcry and an alert sent across the world where about 99 countries are involved.
150 countries.
Okay, about 150 countries. All right, fine. Let's put it that way. The figures are here and there, but so many countries are involved in the cyber attacks right now. Britain and some other, China, India. So many of these countries are involved, and we are discussing how they can affect everyday computers around us and how the preventions can be taken. And we have the president of the Cyber Security Expert Association of Nigeria, Remi Afon. He's joining us from Abuja. And we have also from Port Harcourt, our studio there, Zems Matthias. He is a former superintendent of police. Oh, now, Remi, I was still talking with you earlier on. I was asking how these cyber attacks are carried out.
Yes, there are so many tactics that cyber criminals normally use. They send information to you like email, claiming that it's coming from a reputable organization, for example, from your bank. So by the time you click on the link, you put in all your information, they steal your information. So people need to be aware of what information they are receiving, emails they are receiving. It might even come via WhatsApp. It might come via Skype messages. So it's quite important that we are aware that there are so many tactics that cyber criminals use.
Okay, you just told us one. Can we have more of those tactics apart from unsolicited messages? What other means?
Apart from unsolicited messages, also when you visit websites, you can go to some bad reputation websites using pirated software as well. Most people don't buy original software. They get embedded with malware. They get embedded with malware codes which can affect your system. So it's very important that people buy from genuine organization, they buy genuine software rather than buy pirated software.
All right, Zems, let me come to you in Port Harcourt. Well, there has been an alert sent out. How can we protect the cyberspace from all of these attacks? Is it possible to protect all the space within Nigeria?
Can you hear us?
Zems, this question is to you. How can we protect our space, our cyberspace, from attacks?
Okay, yeah, we'll have preventive steps for cybercrime from our country or individual or institution to be attacked by taking some steps. We don't need to panic when it happens. You feel free anytime you have an immediate physical danger contact and you have to report to the police. Avoid getting into a huge argument online during chat and discussion with other users. You should also remember that all other internet users are strangers, so you do not know who you are chatting with. You should also be extremely careful with internet users and how you pass your informations. you choose your chatting nickname carefully so as to avoid being hacked or being attacked. You do not share personal information also with other users. And you should also be extra cautious about meeting people online, introducing yourself. If these steps are taken, I think the habit of being attacked by individual or by association could be reduced. And the reason why cyber crimes is very common just because is a free a crime because of the easy to access to online. Is also a very complex situation, a situation that the computer work operating system are very, very difficult.
Zems, let me interrupt you. Zems, let me interrupt you, Zem. Please listen. There's a thin line here between socialization and just being watchful for cyber attack. What you've listed now, don't share your information with a stranger. Don't do this.
Don't introduce yourself.
Don't introduce yourself. you want to chat me up, you say hello, I say hello. What's your name? I say what my name is. What's the thin line really?
No, not that you could not. But the fact remains you have to be careful. Know whom you share your biodata with. Because that is one of the target with which they use this to attack. But notwithstanding the issue of institutional cyber terrorism, whether your information is there or not, it could also be a hack or be attacked.
Remy, Nigeria is ranked 16th in cyber attack vulnerability index in Africa. That brings to mind the issue of our Cyber Crime Act 2015. Has that helped in any way?
Yeah, we have a Cyber Crime Act in the country at the moment, but there's more that the government needs to do. We need what we call a data protection law, because cyber crime is targeting cyber criminals. What about organizations? Are they protecting the data, sensitive data? Is there any punishment for them if the data has been stolen? Do they need to report? Who do they need to report to? These are all the things that need to be in place. Recently, in Europe, there's what we call GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. So if there is an attack, organizations need to report. So these are the things that we are advocating for government to put in place so that we'll be able to know the level of attack, we'll be able to know the level of reporting, and there will be sharing of information among organizations.
All right, let me stay with you, Remy. When it comes to reporting, I guess a lot of people still don't know what these things are. When you feel that you have been hacked or you have been attacked, how do you go from there? What are the steps to take? Who do you report to and all of that?
So there's no clear steps for reporting. So there's need for clear steps of reporting. That's what we call information commissioner in some advanced country. So if you get hacked, there's a way that you report. There's an organization that you need to report to so that they'll be able to analyze that attack and be able to give you necessary advice. So we need to get to that level.
All right. Now, in this case, awareness has to really be created for people to get to know what all these things are. But in true terms, between individuals and companies or corporate organizations, which is most vulnerable to these attacks when it comes to the objective and the aim? Let me ask you this, Zems. Zems, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah, I'm asking, between individuals and corporate organizations, which amongst them is most vulnerable to attacks?
Vice versa. Most every attack of cyber crimes and even the bank are the account owners. Money is in the bank and some petty individuals. Our youth these days, more especially in the overseas, as I have once said it, go on attacking. Some of them they don't do it within the Nigeria, they do it outside. And when this crime is committed, the victims now will find it difficult to travel overseas to come and complain to Nigeria police or all the agencies like the EFCC. The most recent one is that the Nigeria is even noted as one of the notorious list of cybercrime offenses. So because it is not being checked. It's not being checked at all in Nigeria. And the agencies that are established to fight this cybercrime are very, 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 very small to the population of Nigerians.
All right, Zems Matthias, retired Superintendent of Police, thank you for talking to us on TVC Breakfast. We also thank you, Remy Afon, President, Cybersecurity Expert Association of Nigeria. Thank you, gentlemen, for talking to us on TVC Breakfast.